Habari ya jioni wenzetu na Wakenya wapendwa, na niko hapa leo na rafiki yangu na ndugu yangu anaitwa Miguda. Wacha nimjulie hali. Miguda, habari gani?
Niko salama kakangu. Niko vyema, hali ni shwari kama kawaida. Tunashukuru Mola kwa mapenzi ametuonyesha tu wazima, na vile vile pia niko na uhakika ya kwamba wewe pia uko salama.
Niko salama, naona kama niko katika kivuli ya Bwana. Tunasema hivyo kwa Kiswahili, yani kivuli chake kimenilinda. Nakumbuka tukiwa wadogo sana, kama mama alikuwa anaomba Mwenyezi Mungu atulinde venye kuku inalinda watoto wake katika mabawa. Unaona ikifikaga jioni ama kama watu wameenda kulala, unapata kwamba kuku saa zile ziko na zile tudogo zinaziweka ili zipate joto na pia kuzilinda. Yeah. Ushaona hivyo?
Hiyo ni ukweli, na vile vile pia sisi tunatambua ya kwamba vile tunamjua ya kwamba yeye ni mwamba na sisi tuko chini yake.
Ni mzuri. Unajua kuna vitu ambazo huwa zinafanyika katika maisha zetu ambao sisi wenyewe hatuwezi elewa venye zinatokea ama matukio, kwa sababu unapata kwamba labda unasafiri na kuna pia wale ambao wanasafiri katika labda tu daladala, vile tunaita kule Tanzania daladala hivyo. Unapata kwamba tuna ajali kumetokea, unaweza pata kwamba kuna mtu ambaye anatoka katika ajali ama ananusurika katika ajali ambapo yeye anatoka bila maumivu chochote, na labda watu ambao walikuwa nao, unapata kwamba kuna wengine wamepata majeraha na yeye anatoka salama salmini. Hapo ndio utakuja ukajiuliza ni nini? Kwani nini kinatokea kwamba mimi nipo hapa lakini mimi nimetoka bila kujeruhiwa, lakini wanzangu labda wamepata majeruhi? Unakuja hapo ndio unakuja kujua kwamba kuna ile Mungu, yeah? Ama nimekosea kaka?
Hujakosea ndugu yangu, ndiposa nimekuambia sisi tunamtambua. Sisi tunamtambua kwamba yeye ndio mwenye uwezo, na vile sisi tunamjua kwamba tukilemewa katika hali ya maisha, kila wakati tukilemewa tunakimbilia chini ya miguuni mwake, na yeye ndio mwamba, na si kazi yetu rahisi tu, sisi tuko chini yake, na yoyote tumeweka mikononi ya Bwana, kwa hakika huwa anatuwezesha. Sasa huyo pekee ndio tunamtambua, hao wengine wachana nao.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, Miguda. Let me take this opportunity to greet my friend Judith. Thank you so much for joining, and Gibson Connor, thank you so much for joining. Today we are just doing a recap of what happened in Homabay. You know very well that yesterday we had a Madaraka day. There are few things that we picked as a channel that we want to discuss today. And if there's observation that you made that you feel you should share with us, you are highly welcome to share with us and let us know. But let me take this opportunity again to thank Gibson Connor. We are still waiting for Makobura. He was in Homabay, and Miguda too will tell us more about Homabay because they were the people who were there. But that's how we start, because Miguda, how was it?
It was fine. It was very, very good. Well organized, well plotted, well executed, and we enjoyed. Like I promised earlier that there will be no violence. There was no violence. The crowd was calm. There was no violence from the people. There was no violence from the government. And you understand, like some of us, like me, we have been the critics of Mr. President William Ruto. But we were very okay in that crowd. No one could even dare to touch us, even the GSU, because we are citizens and we do not owe anybody any explanation why we are going to Madaraka Day. It's a Kenyan thing, and it should be that way. The fact that we are not agreeing with you, you don't need to send for us your officers to arrest us. That's the politics we want to play this country. We're very glad because both opposition and government were there, and we were interacting with them. The GSU, the DCI, call it. It was very colorful from my view, and because the local also turned up, there were so many people who turned out actually. The local there, and what I observed, just to share with our viewers, some which were in the curtains. Currently, the security of Mr. President William Ruto has been tightened. That one I can confirm to you because previously we could see the men in black around the car vehicle minus the wrecker squad elite. But currently there is additional of like I think 12 wrecker squad guarding the motor vehicle, the presidential escort. So the security has been beefed for Mr. President. Even inside stadium, there was the presence of the combat. They were present when he was exiting the scene. So they were present. That I can report to our viewers that currently getting next to Mr. President is not easy. The way the people try to throw shoes at him. So things have changed drastically. And also, I can just test that the local tried so much because you understand the entertainment. I can give credit to the kids, the people who tried to drill some fish, drill some sheep. They also drill some blue economy. And they tried, and I never saw the presence, though, even though we understand that Madaraka, it has been devolved, and many governors were present into their counties, but there were no governors outside Nyanza who came. Actually, we were only having the 4 governors from Nyanza, that is the James Orengo, the Nyongo, the Uchilo, and Gladys Wanga. Even some governors from Central were missing in action. Leaders were missing. Actually, leaders were missing in action. Leaders who were in Central Province, and most of the people who were present last year were the Luo people, the leaders from the Luo nation. And also, we never saw the presence of some significant figures, the young tax, Babu Owino and Sefuna. Of course, they are in opposition. That's a clear indication. But it is a good thing for the people. I just want to tell the people that that's how it should be. The fact that we have this three, in our opinion, does it make you enemy, or does it make you not to allow other people to come to a national event? It is for the opposition and the government. It is for the Kenyan people. Those are the observations. But also, what I saw concerning the I don't know the drills or the exercise, but the KDF, that the parachutes were few, unlike before. They were missing. I saw there were some, and of the presence of the aircraft. Some did not actually exercise whatever they were supposed to do. So I don't know why we were limited for the people of Homabay.
No, but maybe because you have to look at the terrain and the geography, and the space. So those are some of the things that might have contributed. And thank you for that observation. There are so many things that really happen behind the scenes, or some of the things that we picked, especially like on our side, that I would say that because I was very keen in following the event. And one thing you talked about the parachutes, and there's something that I noticed with the parachutes. I don't know whether you noticed that. Most of the time, if you look at the parachutes, they usually have all the Kenyan flag, we in them. They have that Kenyan flag to show that this is a national event. But if you're very keen, there's one of the parachutes that had only the green and white, and and in politics, you have to pick up something like that. It is very tight. It's not something that somebody would pick, but when we look at it, it was reflecting of what is going to take place today, because Gor Mahia was playing today, so always that the Gor Mahia, the Green Army, usually has white and the green. So when you saw that parachute, so it was also symbolizing that maybe this is the land of Gor Mahia, because the Gor Mahia himself, that is his county, coming all the way from Kenya. Is it Aurachuodo? Where is Aurachuodo? Is it Kanyamwa? Or where?
Kanyamwa,
yes, Kanyamwa, and that was the county of the Gor Mahia that was named after the club. So that flag again would symbolize that. So that is something that's all I picked. But there's so many things that also I picked. We've spoken about the violence, and yesterday some journalists, especially from the media houses, really were beaten up. They say they were beaten up by the security officers at the gate, and even they gave out their cards or their identification that they're from particular media houses, but they still end up being beaten. They lost some of their properties. And, this was a national day, Madaraka, people talking about independence and such like issues happen. And one thing that also we have to appreciate, some of the information that we get, we get them in the courtesy of the journalists that take their time to make sure that they give you what you want to see, especially for those who could not attend. You could just attend it through visual, especially after the work of the good journalists. So yes, it's something that we need to look at it, look on it as a country. I don't think like the press are usually the enemy of the people. The press are just the third eye or the fourth eye of society that's trying to give us what we want, or what those who are not attending events like that are not able to see. Now they are bringing for you good information. It is nice to hear that you enjoyed the atmosphere. But did you enjoy the traditional music? I love it, but part of it was celebration. We are coming to it because, like, my expectation, especially in the entertainment, because like when I was getting information from the grounds, the information that was coming was just, I said that okay, this is going to be big. But if I compare it with what happened in Kisumu really did well. If you're very keen, especially Miguda, when you look at entertainment, the entertainment part of it was not the theme of the day like Madaraka. It was all about praising the development that has been done. And when you're celebrating a day like Madaraka Day, this is not a political day. This is a day that you remember the heroes, the people who really paid a price, for this day. I don't think it can be uh, the praise of the development what the government has done or what president has done, even though it's okay. But the president has been there for 4 days. He has been telling you what he's going to do, what he has done, and what the governor has done. So I felt for a fact they could have composed a song to the songs about our nation. What are the things that bind us together? What are the things that we are proud of as a nation? But I felt like for that they were off topic, and the people who did well, especially the gospel artist, did well. Especially that is my what I observed. I don't say that the other artists did not do well. They did well, but it was more or less of praise and worship. But the gospel industry, especially that were there, they did well as compared to them. Let me, before I invite in Makobura, yes, they had different colors, but they said it was a team proclaimed food producers, which I didn't believe. Thanks for noticing the flag. I was skeptical too. Yes, because this is a national. It was not about any theme. It was about the national. It was about national celebration. When we celebrate, we have to celebrate the colors, because all those colors in the Kenya national flag, they mean they were not just put there. There's something that they symbolizes. So if you're using them, especially in a national event like this, you have to make sure that they go hand in hand, all of them, to reflect that we are a nation. So that is something that I also observed. Makobura, how are you doing, sir? Okay, Migudak, you can go on as Makubura try to fix his sound.
Okay, I can go on.
Yeah.
And Makobura was tired traveling, watching stuffs, and also sometimes he can lose even his voice. But anyway, he will make it. What I wanted just to tell you, brother Bess, is that when you are at the main arena, you could
Yeah.
observe that hill, the Homa Hills. That
Yeah.
Homa Hill is a very good scenery being observed by the people from the main arena. That was a very good physical feature that appear behind that stadium, actually. And also the issue of the pyre and the issue of the Gor Mahia. It was very significant because you understand that is
Yeah.
the hometown for Gor Mahia. Gor Mahia is coming from Kanyamwa, Kanyadote, where the way you have stated very clearly.
Yeah.
And the Kanyamwa people are the Ndiwa people. Actually, the Ndiwa people were more compared to other people in that stadium. And the people who are presenting about the music, I observed that the gospel took part of the day, unlike the Ohangla. But understand, Ohangla, the so-called Ajawa. Ajawa is the music of the Luo people. So it was supposed to be the hit of the day, but it is very unfortunate that the gospel took the day. And we expected it to be more excited than what happened in Kisumu. But you understand also the artists who are given opportunity to perform. Most of them are the upcoming artists. Most of
Yes.
them are young tax, and they are the people who are coming from Homabay County because they are being given first priority. The fact that they were hosting that Madaraka Day, they have the privilege to take the artists from that region, but the young tax, people like Aroji Chogo, Papati, Oticho, Kakatalanta, people like those young tax who are upcoming artists. And also, I observed that the people who perform, the schools that surrounds the county, Agorosare, Mbita, Asumbi Girls, those schools around were given priority to perform. Even those young kids were coming just from, even the scouts and the girl guides were
Yeah.
coming from schools like Orero, schools like Agorosare. So that was good because it has given opportunity to the host county to actually present. And also the people who are performing, who are dancing behind the artists with those regalia for traditional.
Yeah.
Those are the Kochia traditional dancers. You know them. You know Gladys Wanga is married to the husband is coming from Kochia. So those Kochia
Oh.
people are the locals who are coming from Wangas, where Wangas have been married to. So he has to give them priority. It was their thing. So they
Yeah.
have to get part of the most of the entertainment. And I also like to accolade the governor because most of the time we have seen the host governors not recognizing the regional leaders. But
Yeah.
Wanga actually recognized all the regional leaders, including the county assembly members and the county executive officers. That was very good because he recognized them. And also, I want to accolade the governor for also trying to recognize the fact that the Homabay town is endless potential, that the so-called slogan for them. So that those are things I observe. And also one more thing I want to say is that you understand that the other time when we were at when we hosted by the governor from Kwale,
Yes.
that Achani, we recognize Mekadilili Wamenza who fought for the independence because Mekadilili Wamenza was coming from the coastal region. But when we were at Omabay, the governor also recognized Tom Boyer, who crafted our flag. Tom Boyer, who crafted our national flag. Tom Boyer, who fought so hard to ensure that we ended up at Lancaster Conference. There are many things that introduced at independence. She also recognized the late Odhiambo Mbai, who chaired the devolution conference and lost his life. So one of the people who actually ensured that we are where today with devolution and
Yeah.
also with the national flag and national anthem are coming from, and they were recognized as one of the heroes in this country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Makobura. Did you fix everything?
Yes, good evening. I don't know whether I'm clear.
Yes, you are. Tell us where you are and what is taking place.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Uh, First, I want to let you know that I'm still in Luo Nyanza, specifically in Kisumu County.
Yep.
Yeah, I wanted to go further and ensure that I give even the location of the exact location where I am.
Mm.
But then I've just remembered I'm a Gen Z. And so the other day we saw them going for some Gen Zs who are speaking the truth. Yeah, so I want to say that I did manage to get to Homabay,
Yes.
specifically in that particular stadium.
Yes.
Of course, courtesy with the help of one of our own Gypsy corner here.
He's
And
asking, did you enjoy?
of course, yeah, I did really enjoy. And I also want to confess that it was my first time getting to Homabay town. As much as I'm coming from Luo Nyanza, I'd never been to Homabay town. And so it was a nice place, and I did interact with quite a number of people from that county,
Yeah.
and I can confirm to you that those people are very happy that they have a governor by the name Gladys Wanga.
Mm-hmm.
They told me of so many developments that they saw actually in the last they were done in the last 3 months, 3 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
They were started as at the time when the county was given the chance to be hosting this particular Madaraka.
Okay.
And so within that small period, I can confirm that I did move around that town, and all the roads within the town are tarmacked. And I was also able to see that there are tarmacs which were done recently, of course,
Mm.
courtesy of the Madaraka Day,
Yes.
and with the sponsorship of the national government.
So,
One thing that also surprised me was
mhm.
the fact that there were so many people in that particular Madaraka Day, something
Mm.
that I've never been seen in Luoland region. And I
Mm.
also saw people coming from all over the 4 5 counties of Luo Nyanza.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to see several vehicles, school vehicles from Seme, that is in Kisumu, several
Mm.
vehicles from schools from Siaya,
Yeah.
some schools from Migori,
Mm.
and I was all those people came from other counties, specifically these school buses. They were unable to access the stadium, and they were just staying outside in the vehicles that they came with. Even me, who was in Omabay town at exactly 6:30, I was unable to get into that stadium, and I can tell you that I was outside that stadium the whole day, and I was not alone. We
so
were
so when
so
when,
many.
when Okay, so when you are out there, because you are interacting with the people, what were the moods of the people, and what were kind of conversation they were having? Maybe you might have interacted with them, or some might just be having their own conversation, and you are listening to because of that. What really were they talking about?
Okay. Okay. From the interaction that I had, and also partly what I listened to the people speaking about,
Yes.
they were happy that there were developments coming to that Omabay County,
Mm,
and part of development, things that they had never seen. According to what they were telling me, is that there was just one road that was
mhm,
passing via the
mm,
Omabay town,
yeah.
and of course the state was not really okay. But
Mm,
courtesy of this Madaraka, all the
yes.
towns, I mean all the feeder roads within the town are fully tarmacked and with good drainage. And they're saying that they have seen lamb. That's how they were saying it. That they have seen lamb, courtesy of the governor's uh, relationship with the national government. And
Mm,
also part of what I listened or I heard from them is that there are business opportunities which are coming up, In
Yeah.
terms of development, they are seeing positive feedback, and they have gotten to a point where even people have started building hotels around. People have started building, starting to do businesses. I
Yes.
was also able to see even for the first time, holding Madaraka Day. So things like the small flags, hizi zenye zinapeperushwa, the firimbi,
Uh,
and these so many things.
okay.
These things, I was surprised to see that most of those people who are selling these ones were people from the Mount Kenya region, the people from the Mount Kenya region.
Yeah.
And of course, that told me something. More of those people were selling the Madaraka, mean the flags, they
Merchandise.
were not, yeah, the merchandise. They were not
Yes.
locals. And
Yeah.
I think that was a challenge to them. And I can also confirm that these people came via, they just traveled overnight.
Yeah.
And some of them, I work, some of them, actually, most of them alighted, reached Omabay in the morning. And I heard the locals also saying that this is a challenge to them. And now that at least they've known, people should be selling things like merchandise, which are branded with Kenyan flag. So it
Okay.
was something that I can say that it was full of innovation. It was full of knowledge because people were learning. And again, they all people from the constituency flooded the
Mm-hmm.
town.
Mm-hmm.
That was, of course, according to what they were saying, that
Mm-hmm.
they were welcoming, and they were also
Mm-hmm.
see in one way they were doing what we call trying to be appreciative of the fact that this particular county was selected to host this um, the Madaraka Day event.
Okay, thank you, Makubura. There's something that you've mentioned that really is something worth interrogating, and for us maybe to ask a question whereby it is a challenge. Does it mean that for maybe for a year, because the issue of Madaraka Day coming to Homabay was not something that just came up the other day? It was something that has always been discussed, and there were those rumors that the Homabay is going to host that, and nobody was thinking of having the merchandise until our brothers came, and they're saying it is a challenge. Even after that, did somebody take initiative even to get and sell them again, or that was that, or it was more of celebration and the project than them knowing what can generate for them money?
Yeah, I get that. One thing that I learned in that uh, town is that
Yes.
immediately I landed, I saw an active hotel industry,
Yeah.
whereby I was being told that there were some people who had just rented
Yeah.
some space specifically for the hotel services.
Mm.
But again, things to do with the merchandise. From the
Mhm.
conversation I had with them, I tried asking some few people who were selling those things. They were saying that, they were not aware. At least now they have seen, and they know that next time, or when anything of that magnitude is coming to that particular party, I mean,
Mhm.
place, then they will actively get to know how to sell, so that they also feel at par with the other people from, especially those people from Nairobi.
Okay.
And one thing that I can also say is that I traveled with people who are also traveling specifically
Yeah.
for this particular event. And
Yeah.
just because they were coming from Homa Bay, they were just glad, happy for that fact.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was not easy even finding my way to Homa Bay, that I can also say,
Mm.
because more of, for example, the flight.
Mhm.
I can confirm to you that almost all the flights heading to Homa Bay,
Mm.
and specifically to Migori, because mostly the Homa Bay has a small airstrip. So more of the seven-seater planes are not going that direction.
Mm.
So what was happening is that most of them were going to Migori and then
Mm.
connecting from Migori to Homa Bay. But
Yeah.
by the time I was looking for one, I can tell you there was no space. It was fully booked, and
Mm.
even the price was hiked. It was very high, almost double the normal price, the normal price that they usually charge.
Okay, Makobura, thank you so much. And we are still going to engage you and to know more about what happened in Noma Bay and what next immediately after this. And as you say that some of them were saying that next time, we have almost 47 counties. So let's say like next time and you are 50. So by the time it will be coming back to Noma Bay, you will be almost like for 50, 97. So
Yeah,
at
I
97,
okay.
what are you going to do?
I think what they were trying to say is because that county has never hosted these national things or
But no,
things to do with the
majority of
national.
the counties have never done that. This one came with the new constitution that it is
Yeah,
should be national.
yeah, I get that, but I think what they meant is that there are so many things that normally are happening, courtesy, of course, with the help of national government.
Yeah.
And I think that is what they meant that when they are expecting to have visitors, I mean,
Mm.
visitors who are coming from outside the county, then at
Mm-hmm.
least they know that there are some specific branding
Mm-hmm.
which they normally need to have. The only thing that they knew from part of the conversation I was having with them is that they only see such kind of brandings when people are going for sports,
Yeah.
whereby they're going to brand some, I mean, sporting activities. When there are sporting activities, they didn't know that when people are coming together, things
Yeah.
which are uniting people, the amount
Yeah.
of nationalism, then branding is also part of what is needed.
Okay, Makobura, thank you so much for that. And now, Miguda, we want to go. To me, there's some. I want also to give you an observation that I made. Especially, I would just start with the Governor Wanga. First of all, we have to congratulate her for her leadership, especially during this Madaraka Day and all that, and development and pushing for the agenda, especially pushing the national government to bring all those projects, whether they are national government or the county government. The good thing is that the people of Homabay are benefiting. It doesn't matter, whether it is national or that. But there's something that I picked from her speech, and that's where we are, because like with us here, we are not saying that it was not successful. It was successful, but now we look at the misses. Yeah, we've given the positivity, the positive that we saw, the organization and everything. When you listen to Governor Wanga's speech, again, it misses the theme of the day. It's not the theme of the day, but the Madaraka part of it, because um, she gave a brief of what the president has done within a period of 2 years. Not forgetting to mention even those who fought for the country to get independence. Or did I not get something in her speech? Because she talks about the market that the president had built, talks about the development that president has done ever since they started to work together. But um, I did not hear something to do with the the Madaraka. What do you say about that, Mr. Miguda?
I tend to agree with you, but slightly I'll disagree with you.
Yes, go ahead.
Because from what I observe, like someone who was on the ground
Mm-hmm.
and someone who was privy
Mm-hmm.
to the program of the day.
Yeah.
Yesterday's Madaraka Day had a theme.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Madaraka Day, but there must be a theme for each year.
Yes.
Today's Yesterday's theme was blue economy.
Yep.
So when you concentrated on her speech,
Yes, yes,
he
sir.
was typically touching on blue economy. That is why he was concentrating on the pyre. She was concentrating on the bays, the 4 bays, Muhuru, Homabay, Kindu Bay, the one in Kisumu. I don't know how it's been called. but she was also concentrating on the issue of the ferry, the new ferry. So she was trying to qualify that the fact that this year's theme was blue economy.
Yes.
It's very important and strategic to bring it to Homabay. And it was very important to recognize that it has been the effort of Mr. President to ensure that it has linked with the Homabay and the projects in Homabay, so that they have not omitted the theme of this year. That is why some people never understood her, in my view.
And
But
yes, that's why I was telling you, like, there were hits, especially when it comes to the theme of the day. But as we were celebrating the day, as you talk about the theme of the day, you also have to remind Kenyans what is the day that we are celebrating. We are not only celebrating the theme, but we also have to celebrate the day, the heroes, and the people who fought for us even to have this day.
yeah, that's what I was trying to bring on. So where we have to disagree with her, she concentrated more on the theme of the day, other than the Madaraka, which has been there annually. So that's why we have to disagree with her partially. But she was too much on the theme of the day. And also, I wanted to confirm, Makubura, kindly mute. I also wanted to confirm to you that during that period when she was talking, or she was giving out her speech, I personally, as a concerned citizen, I also have some of my own observation. That's why I want to also challenge Governor that she ought not to have concentrated on the theme of the day, because the fact that the theme of the day had to be stated. I also want to say that there are things that people are asking. Like, first, people are asking questions like, we understand, we know very well, and we have discussed here with you that Dr. Raymond Omolo has been an instrumental to ensure that stadium was completed. Dr. Raymond Omolo has been so instrumental to ensure that Kabunde airstrip has been expanded, and other like State Lodge, because Dr. Raymond Omolo is the internal PS for the Interior and State Department. So the issues to do with the State Lodge, stadium, airstrip, dual carriage, he has been instrumental. Therefore, the project have come from the national government, but because she's the current governor, she must take credit because she has been there also trying to push. But we don't want to give her the whole credit. We also must recognize people like Dr. Raymond Omolo, because even Raymond Omolo has been on the ground trying to supervise the ongoing projects. So even though the Wanga tried to focus on Mr. President, that it has been solely by Ruto, who has ensured that Homabay was where it is. No, I disagree with her, because it has been an effort of the many people, including the PS, including the KDF. Actually, the issue of the stadium was completed by the KDF. The KDF were allowed to proceed with the work. So the people were continuing the work. And also to add on one of the observations, if you are meeting, the KDF camp like 2 weeks in Homabay, and the price of alcohol was was like for those people who usually take beer, beer was being at around 140 at the KDF camp, and the meals were also being given free for the locals, and most people enjoyed. Those people who drink alcohol, they really enjoyed because the price was lowered and there was too much bottles of alcohol. That one must also be stated here.
And that is one of the things that are very good with our military, especially where they are. You know, they, especially like a celebration like this, they are usually very friendly. You know, they are very friendly to the public. And apart from that, there is also something that I really saw a witness, I observed with them when they were running around the stadium. You know, the way like the public were just very happy to see them, and so our military personnel are usually very friendly to the public, despite the fact that sometimes we get reports like the one that happened during the BBC. We don't know whether we are still yet to confirm, but like something we know, they are usually very friendly. And even you can remember during the Gen Z protest, when they came out on the street, the public were very happy. Walikuwa wanacheza tu na wanafurahia, wanazindikishwa nyumbani, and they feel very happy. Makobura, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I hope I'm not having, there is no noise coming on my side.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what I wanted to say is that first, on the matter of the armed forces, I can say that the level of excitement that was there among the people was on another level. And I think one thing that the armed forces also knew back in their mind is that, they were interacting with people that they've never, I've never had an interaction with the armed forces. So what was there is that they were acting friendly, and I also saw them, interacting with the locals. Some of them were even being allowed to just touch on the machines that they were carrying, and while moving around, those people would tell them, this is this side, this is this side. If you go this way, it takes you to the lake. And the conversation was a friendly conversation that was among the citizens, and also with the armed forces. But something also that was also there is that the people just came out specifically from the conversation I was having with them.
Yeah.
They just wanted to, majority of them wanted to see the political figures, especially the president, the deputy, the cabinet secretaries, the governors, and members of parliament.
Yeah.
Because I would see the excitement, especially when these politicians were passing, and most of them would say that, oh, okay, at least now I've seen this particular mheshimiwa. I didn't know that in real sense they look this way. You would think that some people were thinking these are not normal human beings, and now they were seeing them on a face-to-face basis.
All right.
On the
Okay, go ahead.
on the matter of the speech by the governor, of course, you could tell that the governor was also just overexcited. And we are human beings. When someone is overexcited, they tend to forget about the protocol. And even if you see how she was talking, she was more of praise, doing what we call praise.
No, we call it nowadays in politics, we call it present worship team.
Yeah, she was like doing that particular role. And of course, that is just a clarification of the fact that they received quite a number of projects that they never expected at that particular time. And of course, that is also coming at a time where politics is the order of the day in the country. And you've seen opposition coming out to castigate the government and trying to point out the way the government is not performing. And she just wanted to confirm that as much as you guys in that particular county, you are saying the president is not working. Here in my county, I have things to mention that, the president did this, the president did this. And that was the conversation.
Okay, and talking about the excitement that the governor she might be also having. I think it was okay. Go ahead, Mr. Makobura. We lost you. Okay, we lost Makobura. I hope it's going. No, to continue on what Makobura was saying, also, it was also a perfect time to cement and to make sure that the broad-based government is working, because even in her speech, she talks about in 2 years. In 2 years, we've seen what broad-based has done and compared it to independent. Some of the development that she mentioned or she was talking about, they say that they've never seen them since the independence of this country. But that's how such like counting. And there's something also that we have to we have to question, especially the leadership. Like, our leaders sometimes, they know when to deliver the message and when not to deliver, and who are they delivering the message to. I can remember when Governor went to Ongondo's Were's funeral, actually the first pressure that she had, and she castigated the government. And I think at one point, that this is not what we signed for. Remember, such that was how those were our words. Yeah, this is not what, if this is what we signed for. And after that, so many people were asking, then what did you sign for? So I think what she signed for can now be seen. The development that has been brought in Homabay, that may be what they signed for. But also it tells you how our leaders change with time. Especially when you look at governor who was speaking yesterday before the president and before the population and before the people of Kenya, and the governor who was speaking the very first time they've stepped at Ongondo's very home, especially with Peter Kaluma. You saw that. And I tell you, like, they know how to read the moods and how to set the pace, especially for the people. If it is the occasion is about driving emotions, they will do it in a way that, and the voters will follow suit. But if it is a day like the Madaraka, they know what to speak about. Miguda.
Maybe if I can finish.
Yeah.
Am I clear?
Yeah, you're clear.
Okay, yeah, sorry for the drop. I don't know what the problem with the network. So I wanted to also say that I interacted with people coming from other counties, and some of them were asking, I asking themselves, ati kwani sisi sana sana watu wa Migori. I had some people from Migori saying ati kwani sisi watu wa Migori, sisi Mungu alituonea, and I asked them what they meant, and they were saying that they're not seeing anything in terms of development. And I also had some people from Siaya also speaking about the same.
Yeah.
And the conversation is different in other counties, but I also realized that there was a huge movement of people coming from even the outside the Homabay who also wanted to just attend.
Yeah.
And I can also say that one thing that I also saw in that particular place is that the reason why there was a huge number of people in the stadium, from the intel I was getting on the ground, is that there was a mobilization.
Yes.
And part of the mobilization, people were promised that they would be given something like 2K. And so the first people who entered, I think from what I was getting, is that the first people who entered, some of them received something.
Yes.
So majority of people came, hoping that they would also be given, but ni kama wengine wale wa kwanza ndo walipata, lakini wengine walikuja wakapata kama wapeani. So that is part of the reason why there was a huge number of people who slept in that particular stadium. Some of them, after sleeping the whole night, they just left in the morning and now started operating to ensure they get something.
In English, they usually say that early bird catches the worm. So those who went early were lucky to be given the mobilization token, coming early. So if you come, and our politicians, also something that you also realize with our politics is that most of the majority of politicians, perception is one of the greatest strategies that they use, especially to make sure that even the stadium is full. Because even what I saw was like at some point they had to open the gates, and everybody came in, not even considering the capacity that that stadium can hold. So
Maybe
it's just to create that perception.
Something that I learned about this, especially in terms of mostly in terms of politics.
Yeah.
You know that we are at a point where there's a lot of politics going on.
Yeah.
And this mobilization, part of it was done just to show to the world, and specifically supporters of Raila Odinga, that The movement that he leads is still intact, and it was also a sign or a political threat to anyone within the region who thinks that they are thinking otherwise in terms of joining the other side. So they just
Yes.
wanted to, thump, waonyeshe ya kwamba we are still in charge,
Yeah.
and that this is just a small sign to you that when we decide we are walking this way, we will all walk this way without leaving anyone. I think that is part of the reason why the mobilization was done in this particular manner. Because
Okay.
on the ground, of course, there are people, majority of them were saying that, specifically these people from Homabay, that part of what they saw in Homabay in terms of these few things, development that they saw,
Yes.
they were saying that when that, when Baba says we are working this way, they will not think otherwise. I did a deep conversation with them, and I even asked them, so is this the old development that can make you hoped? I mean, to continue with this journey of politics? And they were
Mm-hmm.
saying that what they saw in Noma Bay, they were,
Mm-hmm.
when someone is speaking from the heart, you are able to tell. These people
Mm.
are speaking from the heart and saying that what we
Okay, I think there's a problem with Makobura. Okay, so and one thing that Miguda, before we look at Raila Odinga's speech, which was also very short, and one thing that you also have to realize, and I've now come to conclusion that it will be very very much difficult, especially in the villages, especially on the rural part of the areas, to convince that okay, President William Ruto is not working, because there's some projects that they're seeing for the very first time. How are you going to convince them that President William Ruto is not working? So there's that constituents, especially in the village areas, whereby the development and everything that President William Ruto is launching, especially when it comes to not only in Homabay, even when we will be visiting other counties, because that is you know launching those projects. And if you look at the strategy that now even the president are now trying to use, they're not so much concentrating on the town centers, whereby people are tending to be so much well informed in terms of what is taking place. Yeah, they rather go and launch a transformer in the village whereby they've never seen a steamer kwa maisha yao yote for like over 60 years. Nyinyi mmeishi tu kwa giza, lakini leo hii rais amekuja then aka launch transformer. Those who are well informed will say, I've never seen president launching an informer. But what about somebody who has never seen light for the last 60 years? What are you going to tell this person that president is not working? So there's that uh, uh, that strategy that sometimes is going to work for President Ruto, especially for the people who are in the village, in the remote areas of village, who are not accessing information. Hata kuingia kwa WhatsApp au kuingia kwa mtandao inakuwa ni shida, lakini wanakuja wanaona kwa macho yao, utamwambia nini? That is something that I also observed.
Okay, let me give you a surprise from your
Yeah.
observation.
Yeah.
First, I give you a surprise. I also observed that the governor she was dressed decently, and even her makeup was wow.
On top.
You saw her makeup.
Yeah, Nyawangaya was on top.
Nyawanga was on top, and her makeup was wow. And I just want to clarify what Makubura have said, and also want to allow Makubura to get this from me. Makubura, the people you are interviewing are the ones who are not paid. Let me tell you today, people are paid. The people who came by bus, they were paid to pay from the constituency level. And the people, the area MP ensure that if well for you the vehicle to and fro, then you are being given 2Ks for upkeep. Then there was lunch, but the problem was the lunch was being taken by 5 a.m. The 5 a.m. it was people are eating by 5 a.m. It was there were cows which were slaughtered and pilau, the so-called wali. So people ate, and those who came early ate, and also people were given 2Ks. And not only the issue of people are being given money, even today's Kenyan's Premier League between Gor Mahia and AFC Leopard. The only people who usually don't get money, those people who just join movement without knowing what's going on. But the real fans who came from Nairobi or from other branches with those vehicles, those buses, they're actually being fueled and they're usually being given 2Ks. That's why they can't miss those matches. They have
Okay.
the interest. Like politics is being played at the top. It has been default. Even the people are being paid. So they're just taking a certain constituency where they're giving money. But those people, you are using their own pocket money, like Makobura, like myself. You are not.
No, but you people, when you are going there, you don't just go there to celebrate. You are going there to get the information, and that's why you are in platform. So which means, and even that's why Gibson Connor had to come in for Makobura, because they want to know the raw data from the ground. Good. I think there's something wrong with your internet, and thank you so much. There's also something that we observed, especially in the speech of the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga, and this is about the compensation. And I don't know how I would say that the the Prime Minister would talk about the compensation, that they need to look at very, very keenly. When they had memorandum of understanding, among other things that were in the memorandum, the 10-point agenda was about the compensation, especially for the post violence, especially those who have gone through the violence. And he came and talked about it. And it's not the first time that Prime Minister is talking about compensation of the victims. Remember, even when they signed the BBI, when they were with President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, he talked about compensation together with the devolution, and everything that he talked about yesterday. Those are some of the things that he has spoke about when they had handshake with President William Ruto, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and now they're also working with William Ruto, and he's still talking about the same thing. So, sometimes question comes and people ask, like, how true is that? Because if these are some of the memorandum that you usually write down, and you still say that people should be compensated, yet at same time you usually spend, like when they were in Homabay, they spend almost 4 days in Homabay. Not only that, they've always been meeting and talking. Does it mean that he doesn't tell the president about compensation? And talking about the compensation, I remember when president was in Kisumu, the day he was touring the larger Nyanza, to say he was in Migori, and there was a time he had a town hall meeting in Kisumu, and the issue of compensation and the violence was brought to him. He said that if any of the families, because he said that he was not aware of the families who had lost their life through that violence, and he even said that if anyone or have that information, should bring that attention to him, and which means the leaders from Kisumu were supposed to take up with the matter and share it with the president. And now again, we see the Right Honorable Prime Minister is also talking about it. They have members of parliament in parliament that can come up with a legislation, especially on how they can be compensated. But there's something that is being said on the public. Makobura, what is your take on that?
I think, part of one thing that we have to accept, more of killings which are related to politics, they've been done to the people from Nyanza.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do your statistics, you'll find that the majority of those people who have died in matters of politics, on the path of justice, freedom, and what the Constitution guarantees or gives to the people, they're from this region. And, this has been a conversation that the people of Luo Nyanza have been speaking about, and they're saying that this government, and that's the reason why there's a lot of, people coming out, especially, to speak against this government from this region. And particularly, if you read if you remember what James Orengo spoke about last time, he specifically mentioned about the deaths. And part of the reason, when you mention to the people of Luo Nyanza that, this government killed our people, majority of them will have to think twice before they support. And that is why you're seeing that these leaders who came up with this narrative of not supporting the government, they've been received with love with the people, because people are saying that, if we lost people of Kenya, and no one is even conversing or speaking about it. How then are we going to support this government without us, getting justice? And
Makobura,
yes,
let me ask you, because do you know the reason why I'm asking you? We know, and that is the statistics are there. Even during the recent one, talk about the Gen Z, talk about the Sufuria movement, and others that we've always seen. But you find that immediately after it happens, there's that memorandum that is being signed by the opposition together with the government. And one of the pointing agendas, or one of the agreements that are in place, the compensation usually does not miss on that list. It has always repeated itself in those lists of conversation when we are coming together and people say we are signing a memorandum to create peace and all that, and let us move together as a country. But the compensation usually doesn't take place, not even once, but it has not taken place for the quite long time, But now you find like how the Right Honorable Prime Minister came and talked about it, and remember, even after Prime Minister mentioned it, when you look at the president's speech of 40 something like 45 minutes to 46 minutes, he did not mention anything to do with the compensation. He did not, you know. But now, each and every day, we will be having this. Maybe Prime Minister will say, okay, we need to compensate those people. So, does it mean that it is not possible, or it is by default that we don't compensate? But when we come to, let's say that we are having public events and we are talking about compensation.
okay, I think we all understand that this government is run by the President William Samoei Arap Ruto, and they are speaking about broad-based. And so, from my understanding, I'm quite sure that Raila is just he's been invited in this particular government. I don't really think he has, I don't really think he has power to say that do this or do this, and it will be followed. So I'm quite sure that all directives comes from the president,
But
and
why do they sign memorandum of understanding then?
yeah, I'm coming to that. From my view, my view on this particular issue is that the president seems to be very adamant to this issue of the whole Gen Z. Even if you remember the other time when that particular on the day that there were prayers, and the preacher there spoke about the Gen Zs. Even if you saw how the president talked about it, it was like in a very casual way. Like he didn't really wanted to speak about it, and he's never had the energy to come out and categorically, speak about it and finish. He has the power to finish that kind of conversation. He has the power to do what is necessary to ensure that the conversation never comes up. But we've never seen him come out to speak or to do something positive about it. So I think it's just getting the pressure from outside, pressure from, of course, this side of the this side of the the broad based, but I can say that he's not really into this, and that is why he has ignored. This is not the first time. These are issues that were even raised by. Remember, some time back when the BBC brought the expose, him as the president needed to come out and do some clarification on matters to do with the Gen Zs, and it was never done. So I think what is happening is that the president specifically does not want to speak about the Gen Zs. He does not want to hear anything about compensation and all those things that the Gen Zs wants. he wants to stay away from it, but I think Raila is kind of just giving some pressure to him and see whether he'll act on it or not. But I, I think the issue of compensation, it is very necessary because people's lives were lost. These were, some people were breadwinners. Some parents had used a lot of money to ensure that their children were educated. So it would be so unfortunate that people who were killed in pursuit, when they were on their way looking for, fighting for the people of Kenya, they need to be compensated so that at least the pain of losing their loved one they can say that at least we were recognized. That recognition is very, very important in this particular time, and it is a conversation that if the president is not willing to have, I can assure you that it is going to arise. Of course, anytime, it might not arise today, but it will have to arise, and it will not be easy to contain. So the better thing I can say or advice is that the president needs to look into it and do what it can in terms of compensation or in any way, so that the young people who are lost, that we lost, they can, this issue of Gen Z should not always resurface. Mr. Migura, what is your take on the same?
On the same, first, you have to agree with me that we cannot compensate the people minus justice. And justice must be seen done and must be done, and people must see that actually justice has been done to the victims. And whenever we want to do justice to the people, we are not only concentrating to the people who are killed in the Gen Z protest, but we must also look at the historical injustice which has been in this country. There are people who have been killed before. The Gen Z are not the first people to be killed. So when you want to carry out this justice as the head of state, because you have a responsibility and a duty to ensure that people are compensated, you can ensure and also you do everything. You can start with the Truth, Justice and Reconciliation Commission. You implement that report. You can as well even deal with the issue of 2007, 2008, because even though the suspects were acquitted by the International Criminal Court, but remember, victims were never compensated. Victims must be compensated. We have had mandamanos in this country. There have been protests. People have been killed. People have been injured. If you must do justice, do not select a section of constituents that you are going to do justice for the Gen Zs, but there are historical injustices. So if you have decided to do justice, let us deal with this matter once and for all. The historical injustice and also the current people who are seeking for justice. That is when you can start by talking about compensation. But compensation minus justice is not a compensation. Compensation of the current of a certain people and ignoring other people. People will come out and start to request for the compensation. How are we going to deal with it as a president? The best route is for the people of Kenya to sit down and decide on how we want to ensure that we rescue all the victims from the time immemorial up to current, so that we cannot get ourselves into this message again. That is how I'm viewing at it. But let me tell you, Michael Bura, Mr. President is not going to do anything about this issue. That was just a politics which was being played. Raila was just playing politics with the day. Raila is an enigma, a political genius. Yeah, he knows that people want to hear about compensation. That is what he was playing at the door of the Mr. President. So it was like, even him being in the government, he can critique within. That's why Mr. President ignored him. He never responded to that issue. To Mr. President, apologies enough. Because when he will commence compensation of the people who were killed and injured during the Gen Z protest, I can assure you, people will come out. The 2007, 2008 people will come out. The 2023 Mandamano group will come out. The 2017, 2018 Mandamano group will come out. Those people who are being tortured during multiple democracy, if they are still there, they will come out. People will now seek for compensation and justice for the victims who have been tortured historically. That's why I can just say that Mr. President is not going to act on that request.
And even the former prime minister knows very well that he cannot act. He was just playing politics of the day to resonate with the crowd. And I think he got it. Got his way hard. And I was just wanted to tell the people about the issue of mobilization. It happens, and people are being paid. If you are not being paid, it's just because you are not part and parcel of the program. But the people who are part and parcel of the program, the people who are being ferried, they are being paid because that is the first contract they have with their leaders. And now the people who are surprised, the people who are, you have found yourself in a crowd without any knowledge or know-how of anybody. That's why some of them were trying to go and spend night in the stadium, or some of them were trying to ask questions along the road that where is that 2K? 2K was not being issued along the road or the stadium. It was channeled through the leaders of the various constituents, and they were being channeled to their supporters to come out large numbers. And that 2K was there. It's very unfortunate for those people not get it, but how I wish that everybody could have been given 2K because it is their tax pay, it's their tax. So they were supposed to get it, and everybody could have hit because that was their money. At the same time, people ought to enjoy. It was an holiday. It's very unfortunate that some people were disappointed, but that's how it sometimes works. Makubura, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Migura. I think we'll just end it. Before we do, allow me once again to say a big thank you to Jepsai Corner for having facilitated me to ensure that I attended this particular Madaraka Day. And I can confirm that, just like I'd said, it was my first time in this particular town. I did notice that it is a good place and it's not so far from the lake. The lake is just a walking distance. And I can also confirm to our viewers that it's a nice place if you want to, ukitaka mahali ya kujivinjari, ukitoka unaenda kwa around the lake, kuna mahali wanavua samaki. Hapo mahali ilikuwa launch na president, iko tu hapo karibu. It's just a walking distance. It is
I've lost you. Makubura, I've lost you. I cannot hear from you when you are explaining the issue of samaki. Samaki. I can confirm to the viewers that actually it's a beautiful place whereby for those people who want to tour, we have even the Roma National Park is there, where you can go and have a look at the antelope. Antelope are existing there. We have the Homa Hills. We also have a certain water which you can boil an egg. You can use to boil an egg naturally without any fire. So you can just boil an egg naturally without any fire. There's a certain small water. There are, like I said before, there is Takawiri Island, there is Ringiti Island, there's Wakola Island, Mfwangano Island. There are so many islands. And even if you go beyond Homabay, now those sides of Kisumu, there is so-called, there are some the island which they used to detain the Mau Mau fighters. Ndere Island. There's also another Ndere Island. Those are historical sites that can be visited by the people. And anybody who's interested, you can liaise with these people who have been around in those places, and they can assist you to actually knows. And the hashtag Tembea Kenya. People should Tembea Kenya, and you know why we are called Kenya. You know the significance of our diversity when it comes to the cultural practices, when it comes to the economical practices, and even our political formation. Like the Luo Nation, they used to have a chiefdom. They were being ruled by a chief, had a very good structure, and the chief was having some wives. And even the homestead of the Luo people, this how their houses are being built. The fact that they were monopolygamous, so the first wife, the second wife, the third wife, and their names were also very significant. there was Mikai, there was Ndiga. That's how they were being called. So the composition of the chiefdom and the advisor to the chief was called Okebe. That is the Attorney General. He was being referred to as Okebe, a representation of the public to the chiefdom. So if you go deep into those Luo culture, you understand the existence and also the significance of the lake. That's why they are being called Jokanyanam or Jokaramogi, because that's their origin. Nyarnam was believed to be the mother of all nations. That's the Luo nation. So it's very important to get a local who understand the political, economical, and you also understand why the Luo nation have followed Raila for quite long, because the Luos believe that we have one leader at a time. And when you ask them, what if in any mysterious circumstances Raila is not there, they will tell you that there will be an automatic existence and they will just emerge automatically. And it's very important to understand. This is why I'm talking about understanding the different part of the country. Like myself, I've taken time to go to Mount Kenya. I've traversed the region very well, and I understand, so that whenever you are given a platform to discuss the issues of the national, you discuss at a global perspective. You don't view your world to be Homabay. That because people were attending that Madaraka Day in numbers, now you are concluding that Ruto is going to be the next president. No, you need to have a global perspective of these things, because Raila sometimes has have huge crowds, even in Kasipul Kabondo. Now the local in Kasipul Kabondo will tell you that, oh, Raila is going to be the next president. But when results are being declared, you are being surprised because your world was too small. You only look at it at Homabay angle. And we urge people to tembea Kenya, know Kenya very well. You need to move even the coastal regions if you have a time. Engage the locals, engage people, and ensure that one day, so that when you get an opportunity to serve, you understand the problems of Kenyans across the board. And that is how a leader should be. That is why I also like to urge our people. Homabay is a very good place for tourists, and people should visit that place, and also other parts of the country. Back to Makubura.
Okay, thank you so much. I dropped, it seems my phone has not gotten used to the environment around, so it keeps picking network and then sometimes it drops. I hope I'm now clear.
You are very clear.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so like I was saying, I did mention that I'm very grateful to our friend Icon for the facilitation, and I also pray for you. May God.
You are breaking.
Yeah.
I don't know why you are breaking.
And now I just want to remarks before we conclude, Nigoda.
Okay, I wanted to say you could have taken me through the comment section. You understand I don't have my screen. You could have taken
Okay,
me
let me maybe allow me to read some few. Icona here was saying that KDF always train with the best in the world. With that, I trust them. Security becomes easy when there is respect from both sides. And then Icona also says that I remember what Gladys signed for. I even thought that she had two persona. It was cunning. And then Gypsy Corner says Raila too doesn't talk about the wrongdoings, not just Ruto. And then Gypsy Corner says that the army too in Haiti were promised compensation in case of eventualities for the families, but nothing has been done. Okay, yeah. And he also says, yeah. So that is the comment section, and then you can give your concluding comments.
Okay, my concluding comments. I want to be very fast and brief because of the challenges we are experiencing right now, due to the fact that we have moved from our normal place to other places. First, I'd like to appreciate our viewers for coming to the show, and also appreciate you and Brother Benson. It is always a pleasure to be here, and we say year and year after. And also, I would like just to conclude by saying it was good for the people of Kenya to come together, which was devolved at Homabay County. And also, we have ensured that it is good for people to ensure that they interact across the cultural practices and nations so that we can understand.
There was also a question I hear from Asili asking, is Raila coming from Homabay? Because the stadium is named after him. You can also answer that, but I can see Asili has talked about that.
Okay. I was saying, let me respond to Asili. Asili TV is coming from Kisumu. And Asili TV is our good friend. And the other time, Asili TV went to a school in Homabay County. And he studied with the TJ Kajwang. He studied with the Karoli Omondi. He studied with the, I think even Moses or the late Otieno. They were in the same school. So Asili TV, Raila Odinga is not coming from Homabay County. Raila Odinga is coming from Sia County.
I mean, it was a question from Gypsy Corner.
Okay, Gypsy Corner. Sorry. Let me respond to Gypsy Corner that Raila Odinga is coming from Sia County. Raila Odinga is coming from Bondo constituency. That is Sia sub-county. Raila Odinga is coming from Nyamira, Opoda Farm, Kaunka Jaramogi. If you go to Bondo constituency, go to a place called Nyamira. And Kaunka Jaramogi is where Jaramogi was laid to rest. And Opoda Farm, that is the Raila resident, local, Opoda Farm. A very vast land in that region, one of the vast land in the area. That's where Raila is coming from, Sia County. Homabay is named Raila Odinga Stadium kwa heshima yake because he's one of the greatest leaders in that region. Because the other one in Siaya, it is named after the father, Jaramogi Odinga Stadium. The one in Kisumu at Mamboleo, it is named Jomo Kenyatta, the first president of the Republic of Kenya. This one of Homabay, it has been named Raila Amolo Odinga Stadium. And the one for Migori will be named either, I don't know, they will name it either Odinga or Ruto. So I don't know how they will name it. I was concluding by saying that it is good for people of Kenya to come together. And this is the kind of policy we want to play for my generation. We are not interested who you are, who your father is, which tribe you are coming from, which political affiliation you subscribe to. If you are a Kenyan, but when you decide to gather as Kenyans, let us respect each other. Let us ensure that we promote our country and we promote our cultural practices and our diversity, because we are living like this for the rest of our lives. We have no country. This is the only country we are having. And it should also cut across in other parts of the country. The issue of tribalism, tuachane nazo. The issue of exclusion, tuachane nazo. Let us remain one united nation whereby we practice our cultural independently, but we are indivisible, one nation. Our viewers, thank you so much. See you next time. And also let me also thank Jeff Sokona for making it possible for Makubura to come out of Nairobi. At least he has now enjoyed it. He has moved across Nyanza. He has now even decided to go and see the family at home. At least they are at peace. And he will be jetting back to Nairobi anytime soon. It was very good for him. At least he has taken a break outside the city. It is good for him to interact with the people at local and also to ensure that they have exchanged ideas locally, so that whenever he comes back to the studio, he will come back with the raw information from the ground. The ground, what the ground is saying. And to conclude, I just want to say that the way the ground might not be enlightened, and they might recognize Ruto that he has worked. Also, the same ground might not have ideas and chorus. So if you invest too much into the ground or into the rural areas, but you might miss votes because the very way you are saying that they are contented with the transformers, they might also not have any interest about registration of the IDs and chorus, because Last time I met a mama who was going to give birth in an hospital. So I was trying to ensure that maybe we can use the SHA. Unfortunately, the mama was not even having a national ID. So it was a complicated case and she was not informed. She was coming from rural. That's why you not just staff that you have the rural people. Some of them do not even have IDs. Some of them don't even understand what is that SHA registration. So we have to pay for her around I think 15Ks for her to be discharged from the hospital. That is her story. See you next time. Bye bye everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, Miguda. Once again, thank you so much, Gypsy Corner. I really appreciate. Yeah, to our good friends, Asili TV, Brenda, Iso Wesley, and everyone who joined us today, I want to take this opportunity to say a big thank you and may God bless you for finding time to be with us and for also consistently supporting us. We really, really appreciate. I now want to take this opportunity to, on the story of Homabay, will try create a show where I'll will specifically expound more, speak more about the experience in Homabay and specifically the politics of that particular area. Once I'm back, but for now, I just want to wish you all the best and thank you for everyone for finding time to be with us. I want to take this opportunity to wish you all a blessed night, a blessed morning, a blessed afternoon, a blessed evening from wherever you're watching us. Thank you so much and may God bless you. See you again tomorrow.